What's going on?
Nothing much. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Do I sound nasally? I'm sorry. I
No,
feel
you're fine.
I feel a little nasally. Um Yay! It's Christmas week.
Right?
And who was the idiot that went out today and forgot and got caught in a bunch of traffic? Me.
Oh, no. Online gifts for everybody.
Well, no, I had to run to the post office to drop off
Oh,
some stuff because it couldn't fit
gotcha.
in the mail slot. It was little small boxes.
Oh,
Um, yeah, and then I decided to make a return at TJ Maxx. And 2 hours later,
mm-hmm.
I got back home.
I've seen the lines like at the like the post office places, like the
Mhm.
UPS stores. It's insane.
Yeah, mine was out the door, but they were being socially distant.
Right.
But thank God I was only going to the drop off thing and I was
Oh,
done.
you're good then. Perfect.
Yeah, well, I got a couple of dirty looks because I was saying, excuse me, trying
Mm-hmm.
to cross the line. But yeah, ugh. But nothing's going to get there on time anyway if you're mailing for Christmas
No,
at this stage. Because mine
no.
wasn't for Christmas, mine was business. So, um, yeah, I just picked a bad day altogether.
No, but at least it's good. At least it's done. So.
Yeah. Well, welcome everybody to the room. Let's go in and see who's there. Hi, Willow. Hi, Getatua. Let's see. Hey, Gina Maxi. Saw you earlier. Um, that was I only caught part of Adam's show, but that was a really great show. Um, Up in Adam for all of you already know. Um, let's see, Queen Bee and Miss Prettily Random. Welcome. Farmata, Priya. Let's see who else is here. Black Lavender. And Anna. Welcome to the show. Hi, Ayn. Hello. Okay, so today is a housewife special. We're going to be going over Real Housewives of Atlanta and Real Housewives of Potomac. And
Mm-hmm.
let me just make Grandma Scary happy and say, please, as you enter the room, hit the like button, hit the do not like button. By the way, I want to thank whoever has not been liking our shows because any engagement is good engagement. If you want to leave a comment to say how we can make it better, please feel free. Um, just don't be nasty. Be nice. It's Christmas week. And if you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Now that I've got the business of YouTube out of the way, I'm being a nice YouTuber. Um, okay. What episode did you say Atlanta was going to start picking up? The
Fourth.
fourth or the
Well,
fifth?
no, fifth. Well, the first, basically the fifth, because they said the first four are pretty dry.
Okay. This better be worth it.
I mean, like I said, what is it? Daily, the Peach
The
Project
Peach
Daily
Peach Report.
days. Peach
Is it
Report.
Peach
Thank you, Peach Report Daily. I need to write that down somewhere or have it up because, like, I trust what they say.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they're giving the season 8.5 out of 10. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm not. I'm seeing about 1.5 at this point, but I'm willing to give it a chance since I know I've been set up since I start watching season 5.
Mm-hmm.
I do like, for the most part, all the ladies except for Latoya. Just for my, the reason I say that is because for my taste, for just meeting these ladies, you're doing the most too soon. Like I need you to be on half a season before you do too much. And the way she's coming after Drew, like, yeah, you would think they grew up together and was best friends and have fallen out. I'm like, you just met this woman. Like, that's
Yeah,
my issue. That's my main issue.
she is a bit familiar, and that's as generous as I can be towards her. I'm not relating to her. I'm just gonna say it as it is. I'm I'm guessing that I've aged out of this demographic. Um, I'm just not feeling her. I'm surprised that Kenya is linking to Latoya so quickly. I only see a bad end to that. Drew, I'm not even sure why she's married. I'm not sure. After what we saw at the end of last week's episode, this week she's buying a house
Hmm.
with the same person that, to me, feels like she has lost trust in.
Hmm.
So that's kind of weird. And then on top of that, I found it so odd. They're buying a house together. She
Yes.
signed off on paperwork, but yet she doesn't know what's going on with regards to the purchase of the house. I
Right.
just found that a bit odd. Just
It
me.
is. It is. You said everything I was pretty much gonna say, but I want to go back to Latoya. I think with Latoya, my issue with her is this. She had a great storyline to come in on, as she's like apparently a very successful YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
So why I'm just confused. Like, why not lead with that? I mean, because especially during a pandemic where everyone's pretty much relying on YouTube from some entertainment, why wouldn't you like start off on that foot? It's just very very interesting to me for you to have this huge platform of housewives and not promote your YouTube channel.
Do you think she could teach us how to be good YouTubers?
I'm actually pulling up her page now. I'm just trying to see.
What does
Yeah,
she do? Is she like a beauty YouTuber or what does
so
she do?
it looks like her channel is called Latoya Forever. Um, she has 1.45 million subscribers
Wow.
with a 131 videos uploaded. So she's successful. I mean, like a million subs. I mean, I would have loved to see her lead with this because this should have been huge. It looks like she does fashion, lifestyle, blog, entertainment. So she has like a really good YouTube channel.
Oh, so she's like
So
that Sasha Exeter girl that I follow.
yeah,
That's the only
honestly,
lifestyle person I follow.
I'm just gonna drop her link into the chat actually because it looks like a really good channel. So I think people should check her out. This is my first time looking her up. So I kind of thought they would have led with her being a YouTuber because like before the season, that was really talked about. They're like, in some of the chats and the blogs, they're like, yeah, like Toya Forever, she's gonna be on Housewives. They're like, who's that? Like, oh, she's like this really big YouTuber. They're like, wow, that's really really different for Housewives. We haven't had that before. I'm like, that's gonna be cool. And then I haven't seen anything about it. The first thing I see with her is just being up King's behind and being messy. I'm like, well, no, like that's not what you should lead with, in my opinion.
Do you think the reason why she hasn't even mentioned that yet is because she doesn't want to share a portion of her profits with Bravo?
Oh no! So the way Bravo works is they only take a cut of your business if you started while on Housewives. She's had her YouTube before
Oh,
Housewives.
okay. All right. Cool. Just thought I'd throw that out there, but it is quite interesting.
Hmm.
I agree with you. One would think you would want to give that as your backstory, establish who you are as opposed to creating mess and talking about people's wigs looking like pets and all that nonsense.
Right, because you have like a successful YouTube channel, which I'm sure you make money off of, and you could like collab with other YouTubers, like help them
Mhm.
out as well. And YouTube's an actual business, so you will be promoting your business on this huge platform, and you're not doing it. So I think that I will say this. I think that's part of my bias against her that she's not. She's falling into the pattern of former housewives. Instead of promoting your business or starting a business, you're promoting the mess, which doesn't make you look good.
Yeah. Let's see. Anna says, I agree with both of you. Latoya is trying too hard, and I'm not feeling her at all. Don't understand the immediate BFF thing with her and Kenya either, right? Oh my God. It's kind of like high school. Um, let's see this. Miss Pretty Random. Doesn't Latoya and Kenya fall out eventually? Um, Doesn't Kenya fall out with everybody eventually? Uh oh, please
Yeah,
forgive. That's my phone.
yeah.
It'll hang up
I
eventually.
think Kenya falls out with everyone eventually. But when you
Mhm.
have that type of personality, which is a very like straightforward, blunt, you're gonna fall out with everyone eventually. So her falling out with people is not that surprising. Now, when someone like Candy falls out with somebody, you're like, "Whoa, what's going on there?" Or when Cynthia falls out with somebody, it's like, "Whoa, it must be really deep for you to fall out with somebody." But for Kenya, it's like, this is just Kenya. Like she gonna fall out with you eventually. You'll see, and you just keep it moving with her.
Yeah. Okay, so what else happened on the show? Okay, so Portia returns to Atlanta after her second arrest in Kentucky. Cynthia is planning her big blowout, but she doesn't feel the support from Mike or Mallory. Um, Kenya and Latoya get together at her home and act the fool and take pictures. Um, but Kenya also confirms that she is moving forward with her divorce from Mark Daly.
Hmm.
Um, Candy, Cynthia, and Kenya do a workout. That was sad. I shouldn't even say that because my fluffy backside needs to do a workout. Good for them. Um, Portia, her sister, I can't remember the sister's name, but lovely girl.
Lauren.
Lauren, there you go. Thank you. And Tanya, this is the first time that we've seen Tanya for this season.
Hmm.
They tootle on over to Phelan,
Fallon.
To Fallon's house to, have a little pool hookah party. Um, Portia admits that she's broken up with Dennis. Let's see. Fallon is a friend, or no, she's a friend, right?
So what happened was this, from the way I understand it. Um, so you saw Drew got injured, right?
Right.
So she got injured before the season. So what happened was they weren't sure if Drew was going to be able to film the season or part of the season. So what they did was they auditioned Fallon and they loved her. So
Hmm.
Drew made it happen to where she could film comfortably. So they kept her as a peach holder, but they liked Fallon so much they
Hmm.
decided to make her a friend of the show.
Okay, so I'm gonna assume, which I shouldn't, that you think Fallon falls in line with the type of housewife that we want to see, someone who is affluent, has a beautiful home, um, and shares her wealth freely with the girls.
Yeah, like she's like fresh, she's fun, she's open. From what I mean, this is like her first episode, so we don't know
Hmm.
too much. But I've seen some of her IG live, and she seems pretty cool. So I'm like, okay, I see why you were cast. I think this is so sorry. This is the type of wife we want to see moving forward, and it's not about being younger. What it is about the openness, the honesty, the wealth,
Yeah,
that type of thing.
she had me when she gave them gift bags before leaving. And they were like crates with like liquor and tchotchkes in it. I thought, shoot, you just go to her house for a pool party and you get a gift bag. I want her to be my friend. I'm very
Yeah,
I'm, I'm very
she
tired
seems
of being
cool.
in house right now. Um, Drew and Ralph, like we said before, they are buying a home, but they also agree to go to counseling.
Hmm.
Like,
I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of counseling, and especially when most couples don't recognize they need counseling until it's too late. They seem to be recognize it fairly early on. They're like, "Look,
mhm.
we want to make this work. We need to get this together. We need to do this We need to do this counseling."
I've got a question for you. What
Hmm.
does Ralph do for a living? Do we know?
Ralph is what Fallon's husband.
No, Drew's husband.
Juice WRLD. His name is Ralph.
Yes.
Why? Why do I keep calling? Why do I
And
thought
I
his name
think
was like
Fallon's
Andrew?
husband is Simon. I have it written
I don't
somewhere
know why I thought
here.
his name was like Andrew or Adam or something. I think Adam is what Latoya's husband or something. Maybe could be, but okay. So Ralph is in tech.
Oh, he's in tech.
He's in
Okay.
tech. Yes.
And what does Simon do? Fallon's husband?
I thought Simon was a restaurateur. Let me see.
And what does Fallon do?
I think she's an influencer.
Okay.
Let me just double check. What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I saw a lot. I think he mentioned he's a restaurateur. They were talking about restaurants and how COVID is affecting the restaurant industry, stuff like that. So, I like just based on their lives together. I did like them. I like Simon and Fallon. I really do like them.
Okay. All right. Couple. Um,
So while waiting for that to load, what
okay.
else? So yeah, I like. I just enjoyed it. They want to go to counseling and make their marriage work. So I'm super happy about that.
Jamal, are you hearing any buzzing on your end? We've had a few people in the chat saying that there's a buzzing.
I think when you talk, at least when you talk, I
Mm-hmm.
hear a buzzing, a little bit of a buzz.
Okay. I'm gonna put myself on mute. Can you take over for a little bit? I'm gonna switch out.
Sure. So yeah, like opposite of like Ralph is a gaslighter, everything will always be her fault. Even if he was caught doing it, he would go to counseling, but always think he is smarter than the therapist. Oscar Zip, I can definitely see that happening. He's the. I'm just gonna go from why what we've seen. He's the type to tell the He's the type to like go in, listen to the therapist, then tell the therapist that they were wrong. That's how I see it.
Okay. Are we still hearing the buzzing or
Not
no?
now. No.
Okay. God bless BlackBerry. They're my best pair of earbuds ever made in life. Okay. Sorry.
But yeah, it's well, I'm not sure if you feel the same way,
Can
but
you
with it,
repeat that? Sorry.
I
And
was
I'll
I
give
was
you my opinion.
okay. I said I'm not sure if you're feeling the same way, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel with Atlanta at this point in time, I have to do too much work to find the storylines and then follow along with them in some instances. I think I think this whole Cynthia wedding thing, this shouldn't even be a storyline. I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see you bicker about the venue and where you should have it and if you should have it and the date. I just don't care because it's typical. Like as a viewer, all I really want to see is like, okay, like what's the date? That's picked. Who's the maid of honor?
Mm-hmm.
Pick that. Who's the best man? Pick that. Um, the guest list. Let's see that. I just don't want to see the typical bickering. Like, well, I want to feel like I'm being heard and you're ganging up on me and blah
Mm-hmm.
blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh, this is typical. I don't want to see that. It's not entertaining. It's not entertaining. Because for me, it's like I felt that Cynthia was being unreasonable in a little instance
Mm-hmm.
of, ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
you have a gorgeous house, like gorgeous house, gorgeous like lake river thing. You could have just had your wedding there and not spent all
Yeah,
that money.
I agree with you. I'm not sure why she's pushing so hard for a mega wedding during a
Well,
pandemic and
Yanni, go sorry,
Mhm.
Yanni made a very good point.
Mm,
Since she wanted Bravo to pay for it again, that's why it's in the
mhm.
storyline. Once it didn't air, now she had to pay. Basically, she had to pay for it. That's why she's asking money for Peter now.
Well, no, we'll still see it because she sold
Oh,
her
but
personal videographers video to Bravo.
Right, which means Bravo paid her for the rights of the video, but she didn't get that the cost of her getting paid for the video does not cover the cost of that wedding.
No, it doesn't. And that's why it would have made more sense to have a smaller wedding at Lake
Yep,
Bailey.
yep,
Um, and I don't get her rationale. Like she had a large wedding with Peter, what seemed pretty large. It was in a museum, you know.
hmm
Um, you've had that already. You're his third or fourth walk down the aisle. I'm sure one of those walks was a big wedding.
right.
Um, she does she know all of those people who came to her wedding? Like, that's when you have such big events. I just wonder if the bride and groom actually know everyone who's attending, like, is a real friend or someone
No,
who's just coming to be served a plate.
no. I mean, here's the thing. Let's be honest. Say the wedding was split half and half, 125, 125. I between family with family, unless your family is supremely huge from your family, and they have to travel. Only really realistically maybe 15, 20 people will make the wedding. Just
Hmm.
guessing. That leaves 100 people. Those other 100 people are not all your friends. They're probably like some good friends, some work friends, some acquaintances, and maybe a couple plus ones.
Hmm.
So that's how you get to the 250 mark. Which, if you think about it, it's not that hard to do.
I don't know. It just seemed like a never mind. I if she want to have a big wedding and risk everyone to just have a big wedding, great. You do
From,
you.
from what I read before the season, the funny thing is this. So when they made the guest list, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, they didn't want to like exclude anybody and want anyone to hurt anyone's feelings. What they figured was that yeah, we'll invite all of you, but maybe only 100 of you will show up. But when everyone RSVP'd, it threw a whole monkey wrench into the situation. This is
Never
what
do
happened.
that with a wedding or any
Right.
event.
She just assumed due to the COVID. Sorry, yeah, sorry, YouTube. I said it. Um, they still came. They just assumed like no one would come, no one would want to travel, but people was trying to get out their house. Like, what better reason for a wedding? So they got kind of stuck. That was kind of to me. That was kind of funny.
She wasn't
And yet,
making sense to me this
no,
whole episode.
nope.
Um, I don't know what Mallory was wearing to the venue. The venue was gorgeous, but Mallory's outfit was ill-fitting. And every episode I look at Mike, I see like a hamster. He's got the weirdest features, and I never noticed this before this season. And I just wonder if it's because they're shooting from below him,
Yeah,
like we're getting an upshot, but
yep.
it's just horrible. I
Angles
keep
are
seeing like
everything.
a little hamster.
Angles are everything. And him getting mad for no reason is for me. It's not entertaining. And also, I'll say this. I'll just speak on my own behalf. Like,
Mhm.
I really feel that the wedding is really about the woman. So I think like you let the woman just plan everything. And when she needs your help, you're ready to help.
Mhm.
Now, as far as the 250 guests, I agree with him speaking up and being the voice of reason. I do agree with that. But as far as the venue and this and that, I just think the let the woman pick what she wants, get what she wants, so she can have the day of her dreams. Because I think that's what it's really about. And then when she needs your help or needs your advice, you chime in, and it goes much easier. Because when you try to plan it together, you're gonna have different thoughts, and then I feel sometimes men give too much input. It becomes more about them. So let them plan, and you help along the way.
I see where you're coming from. However, his questions are logical.
Yeah. Oh
because
yes.
of where we're at. All
Yes.
he's asking for, do you think it's a good idea to have 250? He goes to the venue, he sees how they can make it work, he's okay.
Hmm.
Then he's like, all right, what's the plan B? And when you're
Well,
doing events, you always have to have a plan B.
it's
She
not a
has an
plan C.
outdoor ceremony space. They showed all of those rooms for the pre-function, the cocktail hour, the dinner space, all of that.
Hmm.
Where's the indoor backup for their ceremony space? Because you're
Because
getting married in October, hurricane season. And,
and and that's what exactly what happened is that on the day of her wedding it rained and they had to go inside,
and
which is why they could not film her wedding ceremony because Bravo was like, nah, we cool.
but here's another thing too. I would have done see-through tenting with a tented like a walkway between the mansion and that outdoor area. I would have had see-through tenting set up from the jump for that, whether it was
Right.
raining or sunshine. She would have had
Hmm.
to buy that.
Right.
But my thing is, I also agree with him because she sounded like she was saying two different things in the car because all he was asking her, are you going to marry me on 10-10-20 no matter what? And at one point she said yes, and at another point she said no. Like
See,
she would
that's
only marry
okay.
him if she was at the venue, but if she wasn't at the venue, no.
Okay, see, I took it that way too, but I thought I was misinterpreting. I was like, wait a minute. He's asking about are we getting married on this date regardless of what how we gotta do it. And then when
Mm-hmm.
she like said yes, and then she said, well, no, only if it's this. I'm like, what? What? You went
Yeah.
for this last year. You went this whole tirade about 10-10-20 is the perfect date. Oh my god, it's so perfect. I'm like, okay, cool. Getting married nowhere what? And then she kept harping on this date and how it was perfect. I'm like, okay, she's happy, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But then this conversation happens. I'm like, but all he's asking is like, you're going to marry me, right? On this day, right? We're getting
Yeah.
married, right? And
Yeah.
she was just all over the place. And this is the part that made me mad. I'm like, you sound like a child. You sound like a spoiled brat at this point.
Yeah. She had a little meltdown in that car and he just ripped off the camera. He was done.
Hmm.
Oh
Yes.
my God. Oh, wait. It should have been an outdoor event from the beginning period.
It
Um,
was. It was. And Miss
yeah.
Pretty Lee Random, it was set up to be an outdoor wedding. That was the whole plan. They had
Mhm.
everything set up. I saw a photo somewhere. Um, and what it was is on the day of her wedding, it rained. So their
Mhm.
plan was to have to use all that space outside. They were like so happy and all this good stuff. And then the rain hit and they had to move everything inside because had it been outside, Bravo was going to film that wedding. But since they had to move it in, they said, "Now we cool."
Can I tell you something? Like I've worked in hospitality for 25 years and I sell groups. And
Okay.
any group that I ever booked for the second weekend of October always had a weather issue,
Oh
including
wow.
hurricanes. I hate booking the second weekend of October, and it is the most
Oh
popular weekend in the
really?
Caribbean. Yeah. And
Even when
because you get cheap rates because it's low
okay,
season.
gotcha.
And they think that they can get away, with nothing happening on their day. And every time I book a wedding on the second weekend of October, or book a group for the second weekend of October, it is a weather issue.
Exactly. I think I'm a simple person. If I ever wanted to get married, it would be like I would be so cool at the courthouse. Like throw some cool jeans, a nice shirt, nice jacket, nice shoes. Roll up to the courthouse and just do it that way. And then
Hmm.
we would take the money that we would have spent on the wedding, and we'd have like a nice little month long honeymoon. That's the way I would do
Hmm.
it. Because I'm so sorry
Oh my
if
gosh.
if I went to spend what so many people spend on their weddings, there would be no such thing as a divorce. There's no way. I'm not spending. 50K, 50, 100K on a wedding for one day, and we divorce. Yeah, no, we gonna be in this, or I'm getting whatever money I put into it back out of it. We gonna do something.
Then
That's
you're
insane. That's
let me
insane.
tell you, I booked a wedding group when I was working Aruba at the time. That was over $400,000
Yeah,
in
no.
revenue for the hotel. And I think it was about they had contracted 250, and between I think about 450 attended. And
Wow.
it was a huge Jewish wedding out of Venezuela. And it was a ball. It was a blast. It was a blast.
Mm.
But yeah, they can be like great celebrations, but they could also be massive, massive, massive headaches.
I met with BAP 0485 400K.
Yeah,
That's a
over
house.
$400,000 in revenue
That's a
to just the hotel, not including the other vendors, because they had a see-through bridge over our main pool, and the hoopah and stage was right in the middle of the pool, and everything was see-through with flowers cascading everywhere. They had containers sitting in an empty lot opposite the hotel to roll in furniture, flowers, decor, to
mm-mm.
build that hoopah and bridge thing over the pool. They had 4 hours to do that, by the way. um yeah, it was massive, and they took
I'm
over all
sorry.
of our ballroom space.
Mm-mm. I mean, for 400K, I could probably find a nice house in like what Texas, Nebraska, Iowa, someplace like that. Buy me some property for 400K. I'm not spending
You could
400K.
find that in South Florida for 400K.
Well, someplace gonna give me 400K for some property. I'm not spending it on one day. Security, no, can't do it.
Well, we've got a special guest in the backstage. I hope she's ready to come up. Miss Ablavi, you're out and about today. How are ya?
Huh? Oh, didn't even realize I was on. Hello. Hold on.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Happy holidays, my dear.
Hi. Okay, you were talking about Atlanta. They came
Yes,
through.
they
Fallon
did.
is gorgeous.
Who's gorgeous?
Fallon,
Fallon,
Oh, yes.
she's
She's like a
gorgeous.
little doll baby. I love her.
Gorgeous. Has money. This is what I'm talking about. Yes, yes, yes. Has a husband. Yes.
I love it. Have a husband, yes.
And they seem happy. They
Because
seem
let's be
happy.
honest, the only one who has a husband this season, well, from the beginning of the season, is Candy.
Ye- oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Hmm.
Well, Drew has a. No, never mind. I take that back. Never mind. Never mind.
But
Take it back.
yes, I love her. I think she's beautiful. I think she's stunning. Husband, I need her as a friend in my life. Did you see those care packages she gave them when they were leaving?
Yes, the gift bags. Well, gift crates. They were
I was like,
gorgeous.
yes, rich husband, beautiful wife, cute little. But I was, you know how much I can't rave enough about her. She is exactly what I want in a housewife.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, Bobby, real quick. So I just dropped the article about Fallon because you guys want to take a read. You know what? He's a successful businessman. He's CEO of Simcoe Group, a petroleum company, and Simcoe Petroleum. He did own a restaurant, which had to close down due to COVID. So he's cool. He does a lot, and they have like they have some kids, and I just like them because I check out their IG live. So I'm a little bit biased with Fallon, so I like her a lot. Go ahead, Bobby. I'm sorry. I just want to put that out there for you guys.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up Simone. And hello, Simone. Happy holidays.
Hello.
Okay, so did you see Atlanta? Did you like yesterday's show?
Yesterday, it was better than last week. The only thing that made me not like it was Drew's husband. He was annoying me so much with the gaslighting. It's just like
Yeah.
you can see it, but then Drew doesn't see it. It's like, girl, like y'all gonna separate by next season. Like, and he's not even willing to do the counseling if he wants to talk back to the counselor. If you want to fix y'all problems, both of y'all gotta talk.
He
Warning,
just
Kenya
seemed.
Moore fans.
Oh Lord.
Warning.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear this.
Isn't Drew just like a mini Kenya? I see the same thing in him that I see with Mark.
There are similarities. The controlling for no reason.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Her husband is fine. Woo! Shout out to you,
Mhm.
Drew.
But
I
I
the
don't know.
love
difference
seeing
is,
these
His
fine husbands.
attitude makes me not
Yeah,
like him physically, if that makes sense.
that's same with me.
Ooh, he's
Yeah.
fine though. If he just shuts his mouth, ooh, he's fine.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
goodness.
I've been desperate for good-looking people. You know?
Well, let me tell you,
Oh,
Simon was very attractive to me. Every time he said yes, honey, I was like, yeah,
But you know
okay.
who
Simon
else I
reminds me
really
of my
like?
one of my uncles. Like,
No, let me tell you, you can look like a broken brick in dog poop. If you are a good, genuine person, I can think you're the most attractive person in the world.
Well,
yeah,
He,
I
I
like
also like
Fallon.
Shamia, and I always wanted Shamia to be on because I thought she was very pretty, and her husband was wealthy. So you know I
mhm.
like
Yeah,
that
she's
too.
gotten offers to be on as a full time, but she declined. She likes like being a semi friend.
it's for me. What I've understood in the articles I've read, most of the women when they turn down a full time role is because they don't want to commit to the full time schedule they have to keep. So I can understand
Hmm
not wanting to film 11 to 12 hours a day. I understand that. And plus, especially if you have businesses on the outside that you want to take care of and kids and all that good stuff. So I can get it.
True. And having a camera crew in your house for 12 hours a day, that
hmm
can be a bit intrusive if you have a like in the case of her husband, if he has a company and he doesn't want people all up in his business for some reason. I could see him not wanting them in the house.
Yeah,
Makes
that's
sense.
true.
But I
Unlike
think I
another,
go ahead, go ahead.
oh yeah, on Fallon, I really like her.
Mhm.
She is literally what a housewife is. Like, I looked on her Instagram, like her and Simon, they're like I don't know if it's like 15 or 20-year age difference from them, but they have 4 kids.
26.
Oh, 26?
Wait,
Yes.
they have 4 kids?
Yep.
She
And they
looks
just got married
good.
last year.
Wait, she has 4 kids with him, but they only got married last year?
Yep.
I think she had 3 kids from a previous. Let me just double check real quick. My
I know
apologies.
Simon is the father of one of the boys.
So basically, what it is it says according to this article I just posted for you guys, they don't share any children, but they have a blended family of 8 children.
Oh,
Fallon had 3 children before the marriage. The eldest is her 14-year-old son Troy, who she had when she was 17 years old.
oh wow. Dang.
Whoa.
How is she not full time?
So what happened was, when Drew got injured, they didn't think Drew was going to be able to film. They brought Fallon on to replace but Drew was able to actually film. But they liked Fallon so much, they decided to keep her on as a friend to the show.
Okay.
And can we
Okay.
talk
Well,
about
I'm
something?
more interested in Fallon. Man.
Yeah, she's a good addition to the show.
You know what? I decided that I'm gonna be on a fitness journey because I saw Candy in them, and I was like, "Damn, that's me in the gym right now." So I got to go back to the gym because I didn't like the way they was looking. You saw
Somebody
them
asked
in that
how.
little exercise and all that sweating. I was like, "What is this?" Like they've been doing laps or something. They just did a few huffs and puffs, a few squatting down, and they're dripping wet with sweat.
Well, I noticed that Kenya is constantly sweating, like as if she's going through the pause or something.
Yeah,
Well,
she
Because
she's
might
because
be.
almost 50.
well, also you have to remember, like it's hot out there, and then
Yep,
Kenya's body is not used to that weight,
yep,
so she's going to sweat. She's going to sweat more because her body's not used to having like that extra COVID poundage. So basically her
mhm,
body is straining.
Okay. Okay. That makes
I
sense
didn't find
because
anything wrong with her body. I just found her outfits needed to just be a little bit bigger, but I didn't find nothing wrong with it.
yeah, she looked like busted sausage packing. Like it was in all the right places. She was very curvaceous. Don't get me wrong, but especially when she was taking the pictures with
Right,
Latoya,
Latoya.
mhm,
like she was
Yes.
Coke bottle ready. You
Mm-hmm.
yep,
know, I thought she looked amazing, but yeah, it's just you see the poundage in her face, especially when they do flashbacks of her. You see it with Cynthia. It's those two you see it the most where, like when Cynthia first came on that show, her face was very angular, her
You
yep.
know
chin.
what I didn't realize? Candy
Mhm.
had gained weight on the show. I didn't realize she was that tiny. Not to say
Oh
she
yeah,
looks bad. I didn't
Mhm.
Yeah.
realize she
Candy
was
was
that small when
tiny.
she first came.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and she's had her breast. I remember her admitting that she had her breast lifted after her first son, her second child. But somehow they seem larger than lifted.
Well, maybe she had the second. Oh no, she didn't have the
No,
second.
she had a
Surrogate.
surrogate. Yeah.
Maybe they busted. I don't know. But don't they sag normally? They don't just stay high up, right?
No, it's not a thing of sagging. They just look much bigger than right after she got them lifted. Because I think
Well,
she got
because
them
she
lifted
gained
the
weight.
I
She
don't
gained weight,
know.
so it would look bigger.
I didn't think she gained that much weight though. It's just that her
I
breasts
know,
looked
but she has
huge.
gained most of her weight in her boobs. Now that you know, the transfer of
Yanni says she has implants for sure.
That's what I was thinking. I think she went back and got implants.
Can you explain to me why Latoya's on that show? She brings nothing to it.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, we covered this earlier in the show. I'd say what I thought should happen, how she should have came on, promoting her YouTube channel, give a new perspective, all that good stuff. But she was signed to the show before she broke out her husband on IG Live, so that kind of just torpedoed a lot of her storyline. That's just my opinion.
Um, is her husband involved on her YouTube channel?
Yes, his name is
yeah.
Adam. He's fine too.
So is there a possibility that because they're breaking up, we will never hear anything about the YouTube channel?
No, because he's like they. I think they still like have relations. So, because they do take pictures and go on dates. Don't ask me why.
Hmm. Okay. Sweet.
I'm looking at her. I'm trying to see what her last upload was.
Okay, so do we want to move on to Potomac? Have we exhausted
Yep.
everything
Yes.
on?
Yep. Let's go on to Potomac because we got a lot to talk about. Potomac.
Okay, what were your overall thoughts on part two? Because usually this is
Boring.
the one that it's like a dud
This is the
if
filler.
it's
Part
This is
two
a
was a
multiple.
filler.
dud.
This is
This
a
was
filler.
really a filler. It was addressing stuff that we were already looking at from watching this season. Candace really is putting on the victim role, and I can't tell someone how they should feel, but it's been over a year, and you're sitting in this reunion. You're basically trying to antagonize Monique. You're throwing jabs at Ashley, but then 10 minutes later, you want to start.
Yes, and this is why I've never like really understood where Candace is coming from. Because
Mhm.
at one point she's throwing those daggers, be they under her breath or actually jumping at someone during the reunion. And then she's crying hysterically over something that happened to her. And granted, I do agree with Giselle when she said we can't determine when a person or how a person processes something that happened to them. I get it. But in the same breath, you're still judging Monique for how she processed the event that also happened to her.
That's very
And
true. And also with Andy, it feels like he was trying to force something on Monique. It's like he's trying to force her into apology, but really that's not the case. She's not gonna fake something she's not feeling. And he was throwing like a lot of shade too, especially with the comments about Chris and how much money he's earning.
yes. Hey, Gatatua. I found that a lot of his questioning was shady at best. I I didn't like the question to Karen about her husband's genitals and whether she liked them or not. And I didn't like the question to Monique, assuming that because your husband is not an active NFL player, that he don't know how to handle his coin. Like, would you have asked any of the other franchises that
No,
were not people of
he
color?
that's a good point.
Nobody
And
ever asked Joe
people,
Giudice how he was handling his money or where it was coming from.
Hey
there you
Debbie,
go.
can you post the link real quick?
Oh, sorry.
And just so y'all
And
know,
really,
I'm not okay. I'm so sorry.
oh,
You got to
This
get
conversation,
in, get
this con,
directly in.
this conversation, I just can't handle it. Look, I'm still not okay.
okay, well, that's what I was saying. Chris, he played for Washington. He was like the team wasn't like winning like Super Bowls, but he was an MVP considering for he played for like I think 9 years. Like 9 years with that much millions in contracts. Like he's not one of those players that basically will spend it on cars and strip clubs the first 2 years. He took that
He did
money, he
real estate.
invested it, he got it back.
Mhm.
He was smart with it. A lot
Yep.
of
And I
players,
love,
they'll just go ahead and just spend it
yep.
all in one sitting with the advances. Chris
Mhm.
realized that him going to the NFL, from playing in Alabama to going to the NFL, that's a rarity because for you to go to college to pros, that's a slim, slim, slim chance.
Yep.
So he
Mhm.
took the money he got, he took care of his family, he put that in the bank, he invested it, and he got the money back. That's why they got 4 homes.
I loved it when
Mhm.
she said, "My husband's portfolio is doing well." Shut up, Andy.
Right. I love that response.
Don't count
That was
anybody
amazing.
else's purse. Don't do that. Don't assume. Don't assume. You look, there's plenty of active players who are bum broke and busted.
Yep.
Yep. Antonio Brown for one of
Oh dear.
them.
Oh dear. But it's just some of the questions really irritated me. And then this also irritated me when he was asking Ashley about the Michael Darby fiasco this year. Um, uh, uh, he was so woo woo woo. I hate to ask you this, but I have to. Really?
That irritated me. The fact that that tape came out, it just shows that Bravo ain't doo doo because they're willing to put their crew at risk just to get some views. Like I won't be surprised if they were the ones that leaked that tape because they wanted something for the reunion.
I agree
I
with Yanni on this one, guys. She says I
what?
think Andy and Bravo were playing good cop, bad cop. I definitely
They
agree with
always
that.
are.
Mm-hmm.
My issue with Andy was this. It wasn't the questions he asked. It was the tone in which he took. And this is
Mm-hmm.
just my theory. I really think Andy is mad that Monique did not want to film with Candace the rest of the season because he knew those interactions would be that really could have put Potomac over the top. So basically, what he's trying to do is he's trying to punish Monique for not really fulfilling quote unquote her full contract, if you want to say it. It's more
I
of it's like he's punishing a child.
I see where you're coming from, but Andy is misguided in that notion because you can't punish somebody. I guess he's coming at it from a financial standpoint who really don't need those coins from Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing. He wanted her to play ball, but she doesn't have to because her husband plays ball, which is
Mm-hmm.
why she don't have to do this if she don't want to. You understand that you need this woman.
Mm-hmm.
So because if we're being completely honest about Potomac,
Yep.
Monique is what we look for in our housewives.
Mm-hmm.
We are not looking
No, we
for
don't.
like
No. Boop, boop, boop.
yes,
Warning, warning.
nope, nope, nope,
No,
nope,
I
nope.
can't get for
Here's
that. Nope. We
yep.
gotta disagree with that. We gotta disagree with that because Monique likes to play games. Monique had
But that's what housewives do, though.
no, no, no. But let me explain. I don't
Okay,
have a problem really with her and the Candace situation. What I have a problem with is you waiting 3 years to confront somebody and then hitting the wrong person.
I can agree with you. I can agree with you there to up until a point. She had no reason to put this information out for 3 years. Now they gave her a reason to. So yeah, she's been sitting on this information for 3 years, but she wasn't given a reason to use it. Now they gave her a reason to use it, so she did. So I don't fault her there. I agree with you that you hitting the wrong person. You are supposed to hit Giselle, Gigi, and Sharice, whether they own
Mm-hmm.
camera or not. Giselle is on. Giselle is on camera, so she gonna take the most hits. Hey, that's what you did. So you want to live with it.
Can I also note how basically when they were going over the fight and Monique was talking about how basically Candace was this of her hand and Giselle was like this of her hand and Candace pulled at I don't know if y'all saw it, like someone posted like a playback. Basically Candace pulled at Monique's vest before she went in the bop.
Oh, I didn't see that. I wish
Yeah,
I could
and
see
We
all the
want to get in the
angles
Hi,
of this.
everyone.
technicalities of the fight.
well, we're not getting the technicalities. Basically, when they were explaining it, the producers were playing back the footage, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone that was saying, "Oh no, Candace's hand was in her face," and then the playback, the hand was in the face.
But I'm
Everyone's like,
sorry.
"Oh, Giselle didn't push her," and they see Giselle's hand on her shoulder pushing her.
I think with Candace, I mean Monique, she's always presented this. She's an upstanding person of the community, yada yada yada. Everybody wants to be her. But when it comes to it, when the fight began, she was upset with her husband, and she took out that frustration on Candace. Because no matter what Candace said, she should not have put her hands in it. Her hand was not close enough to her face for her to do that. Absolutely not.
Hmm.
I think that what it is that Monique had a lot built up from frustration from all angles. From all
Mm-hmm.
angles. Let's not just blame it on the husband. There was a lot of things. And I said this before. Before the season, like production wanted they actually had a mediation to where they wanted them to sit down and work through this before the season. It did not work. So they left like at odds. So instead of being adults and really sitting down and talk everything through, they allow outside forces to add fuel to the fire and more fuel to Monique's fire than Candace. Because Candace, I will give Candace this, and y'all may not like it, but Candace really did try not to engage. She did apologize. Let's not gloss over that. She would walk away from confrontations. Monique would still keep going, and let's not forget that. Now, fast forward. Monique is still frustrated. Candace is over it because she feels like Monique's not making an honest attempt, and those two forces just clash. What Candace got bopped in the head a few times. Monique got cut with a glass, and that's what happened from my perspective.
Okay, Ablavi and Simone, I'm going to drop you down a bit because we've got a few other people in the backstage. So
Oh,
stay around,
okay.
and we'll bring you back up for final thoughts, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Gatatua, I'm
Hey,
going to
Jamal.
bring
Hi,
up,
Debbie.
hi, I'm going to bring up
Hello.
Bop0485. I'm just going to call Bop and Queen Cascade. Hi, ladies. Gatatua, I know you were there waiting. What were your thoughts after seeing this episode?
Oh, sorry. So, disclaimer, I have to keep muting if someone else wants to talk because I have flack still. My neighbors are having a party today.
Oh,
Yeah. So, with this fight, I think we can dissect this fight to the point of it becomes like a nano atom and would still all of us would still not be right, was right or wrong. Both women were wrong. I
Hmm.
feel we have milked it to the point of now it's dry, completely dry. I feel um, Monique should apologize for her part. Candice should also apologize for her part, but also not apologize and backtrack because you cannot apologize 1 minute and the next minute you're talking smack. I'm
Hmm.
talking from my own perspective because I have been a couple of fights myself. So there's no way someone will be running their mouth and I'm supposed to be apologizing to them. In my mind, I'm thinking, let's meet around the corner. We square it out some more. Let's see what your mouth is going to do and let's see what my hands are going to do. So I feel that's where Monique is coming from. If Candice was just honest with herself, she just needs to apologize and keep quiet, keep off Twitter, keep trying to add on to the fuel. Monique needs also to apologize and just let it be. Yes, Jamal. Sorry.
I have a question for you on that note. Do you think part of the problem with Candace taking responsibility is that the people who are actually agree with her, who are on her team, are not holding her accountable? Do you think
Eh,
that's part of the issue?
exactly. That's that's my point, and that's what I was coming to say about
Okay.
especially Wendy. You cannot be that one friend because my friends know I'm a lunatic, and they will always be honest with me. You can't be that friend who's always like, no, no, you're 100% right. You're the angel, and never tell you at one point that, okay, on the real though, because we were in front of the people, we were in front of the enemy, but now since we're just the two of us, I need to tell you that that was a bunch of bull. You did something wrong, and this is where you need to realize this is where you went wrong. But now, because we are doing this whole lawsuit thing, now we need you to be crying every day. We need you with your sticky notes and stuff. But when we're in private, they will tell me the truth and they will make me see sense. But when we're in public, trust you me, they're gonna tell me how I'm right, and they're coming with me to the fight. Of course, they won't fight; they will run away, but they will take me to the location and then leave me there.
okay. Bop, welcome to our little panel here. What were your thoughts? What did you think about the reunion part 2? Bop, are you there?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
hi, hi.
Oh, I didn't. I don't know why you couldn't hear. Sorry. Uh, but
Welcome.
Okay.
yeah, the way that I felt about it, I had two things that really stuck out to me about it. I don't know why everyone is expecting Monique to apologize when this has already been brought to like a legal matter. You don't admit liability when someone already press charges against you. You know,
Oh.
that's
Yeah, no,
literally
no. Yep.
opening yourself up to a civil suit, and so you
Mhm.
just don't do that. You know.
Right. So
Can I
basically,
interject?
go ahead.
Once a suit has been dismissed, if I apologize or do not apologize, it doesn't matter. So the fact that it was dismissed, it shows there was nothing or it was fair game. Apology
Criminal
just
charges were dismissed, but
pardon?
the criminal charges were dismissed, but they still left it open for her to get a civil case filed against her.
But that's the thing I'm
Mm.
saying. If I'm apologizing, I'm not apologizing because of I hate you. And my apology doesn't have to be to Candice. My apology can be to the people I work with. My apology can be to my employer. Do you get my point? I don't
Yeah.
have to say, Bab, I'm sorry, I whooped you on the head, but I can say, I am very sorry for how I behaved and leave it at that.
But
So
she tried
decide
that
to get,
already.
pardon?
She tried that already when she sat down with all of them.
That's true. And they weren't open to receive it at that point. I think it
Right.
was just a little too fresh, and some people came with agendas.
Right.
I I hate to say that. But it just felt a little off, that first meeting. You're talking about the one that Karen hosted, right, Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone came to that meeting to listen other than Ashley and Karen.
Right.
She did try. You gave a good point regarding the option to do a civil suit, and we all know that Candace's initial contact from her lawyer was regarding money, so she's smart not to say anything in the terms of an apology. And then I also think she's moved past it. Like,
Right.
it's been a year.
Hmm.
She's gone through her counseling, she's processed all of the emotions, she's gone through all the different stages. And in her mind, it is what it is.
You know what? I'm
And I
sorry.
agree to that. I feel
Sorry. Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
We have to remember what really hurt this season, the way it's playing out now, is that Potomac was pushed back for a couple of months. So, had we seen this earlier in the year, closer to when it ended, I think this would have played out differently because we wouldn't have had, we had, as viewers, we had way too much information before the season came out.
Right.
So, if we're being honest with ourselves, we kind of already had an opinion of formed one way or the other based on what we heard, what we read, what we saw, because Karen was on interviews talking about the season. We saw some of us saw Candace's live where she just busted out Robin, Giselle, production. She
For
blew
the
that
whole
out the
part.
water,
Mhm.
the whole plot.
Mhm.
Giselle was out there getting interviews, if I recall. So the delay really hurt the season overall, and I think that's
Mhm.
why, if not everybody, most of us are sick of hearing about this fight.
Right.
I feel personally that the meeting with Karen at Karen's house, Monique was just being honest. They didn't like it. It was just a week afterwards. Like, I don't know anyone who apologized for whooping somebody's behind a week after the fight. Give her like a month or two, then she probably would apologize. If people had left Monique alone, I think she would. I really think she would have apologized by now. But people kept telling her, "You need to apologize. You're this. You're that." Like, the stuff. If you're a stubborn person, myself included, if someone's going to keep telling me to do something I'm not ready to do, I'm not going to do it just to spite you. And then I'm
exactly,
probably and then
Jaguar.
I'm probably never going to do it.
Right.
Exactly.
So leave me alone. And then Candace, she's not really apologizing for her part, and that's also frustrating to Monique. So I think, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion probably, I feel that Monique is more wrong than Candace because Monique put her hands on Candace.
No, that's true.
So Monique, apologize. Like, you know what, Candace, I'm sorry for whooping you behind um, on TV. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have put hands on you like that. Candace, just say, like, Monique, I said some bad things. Like, I wasn't the best of friends to you. I apologize. That, to me, that's the conversation that needs to be had, but without the outside forces. Because if we are also being honest, you two women got played by a woman who don't like you,
And who
and y'all
isn't even
felt
that smart?
right, and
First of all.
y'all fell right into that trap because she was trying to be cool with both of you at the same time. Then said she wasn't cool with both of you at the same time, and then she set in motion for y'all to attack each other, and y'all got so caught up in the emotions you couldn't even see it.
And Candace is still in the getting played.
Yeah,
I,
she's not even
I
saying it.
I feel that okay, I'm technically what you're describing, Jamal. If you tell me to apologize to someone and I feel I'm not yet ready, or like I'm not yet sorry for whatever situation that had happened, and you keep pressuring me to do it, I'm not going to do it. And even by the time I'm ready to do it, and you're still pressurizing me to do it, I'm not going to do it. Actually, I'd rather just we squash the beef and we not talk about it and we just move forward. However, the person that's really getting on my nerves is Candice. I get that you want to look like you're the weakling, you're the fragile thing, you're the, the little bird that's about to be squashed or was squashed and it's trying to recover and whatnot. There is no way you can tell me you've been going through therapy and your therapy hasn't moved you a step forward. That doesn't make sense to me. Unless you were going to the doctor's office and then stepping out after 2 minutes, like just saying, "Hi, doctor," and then walking out. Because if you're going through therapy, you would have walked out through a bunch of those things. I wouldn't have expected her to cry as much as she did. Not that I'm trying to say she needs to react the way she needs. Not that I'm trying to justify or try to dictate how she needs to feel about her emotions, but it's been a year. There's no way, like, there's no way that the wound is that fresh from a year ago. I have
Candace
fought with
is playing the
people,
role.
and a year later we are buddies. Huh?
Candace is playing the role that works the best for her. She's playing the role that is the most profitable for her, and so that's why she's acting like she's still traumatized by the whole fight, and walking out on the reunion and things like that because it's worked for her. It's been profitable for her, so why wouldn't she?
Yeah.
And
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 on
that's
top
the
of
thing.
it,
You cannot be a victim and at the same time you be the antagonist. There's no way you're going to be speaking smack about somebody, cussing them out, speaking personal things about them, and then in the next breath you're crying yourself to sorry to use this word, you're crying yourself to filth because you want to look like the victim. You want to roll down the ground and look like a child who is throwing tantrums, but you don't want to be called out that you're throwing tantrums. I feel, and I am so pissed with Andy for the fact that you cannot tell someone, okay, you don't look like you're sorry, you don't look like you have a problem with it. I'm wondering, excuse me, just because I am not a crier doesn't mean I have to cry. And I feel like Candice has a lot of tears. She needs to go and share it with the ladies from Cheshire because they cry and you don't see any tears. So
Oh
she can
dear.
share some.
Hey, Queen.
hey, good
How
evening,
are you
everybody.
today? What
I'm all right.
what are your thoughts on this whole fiasco?
Good evening, everybody in the chat as well. I mean, for the most part, a lot of you said the things that I was kind of thinking. I feel like you and Jamal were kind of reading my head as well as Babsa Gatua. The same time, on the Trey, I'm all cried out over the whole Candy situation. At the same time, I can see in terms of, not to say it shouldn't have taken this long, but how things can get dragged out in the sense with the fact that this has been in the news and everywhere for a year, and the attacks and stuff can trigger people in not dealing with things as quick because of the fact that you're still having to relive it, talking about it, having to, be interviewed over the situations. But she is playing a bit like violins now in terms of, moving forward out of this situation. But she's getting her money's worth. It's giving her hype, it's giving her attention. What the saying about no news is good news. So people are using lots of things for clout and to be able to further their careers and their businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Can
I
I
have a
say one
question.
more thing?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah, the other thing that really stood out to me with the reunion was with the whole Ashley and Michael situation. I don't see how at this point people don't see that Ashley condones the stuff that Michael does. Like, I don't think she sees anything wrong with him touching people who don't necessarily consent to being touched. Or I don't think
Ashley's
she sees anything wrong with the people that he's sleeping with outside of his marriage.
the thing with people like Ashley is she's learning to play the rich wealthy game. We can't pretend like within Hollywood or within all these industries that there's not people who are, people might consider down low, bisexual or gay, and who are not maybe sometimes out of the closet, who are living double lives. She obviously got the prenuptial agreement originally for a reason. She knows the kind of lifestyle they had with having threesomes or swinging and doing whatever they were doing previously. So to a certain extent, she knew what she'd signed up to, but living it out and seeing how it goes and having kids in the middle of it is completely different to what's in your mind about what how that situation is going to pan out.
That's a good
I
perspective.
mean, my
Is
thing
it
is
is
this
it
with that.
weird that my perspective on that is a bit crazy? Because this is how I'm looking at it. Um, these are two people who used to do these things together. It's
Hmm.
like if I'm hooking up with Jamal and I'm like, okay, we can include Debbie in the mix,
Mhm,
and you're like, okay, cool. I cannot wake up tomorrow and say, okay, then now we cannot include Queen because it was just Debbie and not anyone else, you know?
mhm,
And I
I
feel
agree.
she keeps continuing playing that role of, okay, we were already doing this together. And there's no way, I don't think there's any sane human being who can come out and say, yeah, my husband likes women, my husband likes men, but mostly he likes men more than women. So whatever we are having is just this thing that's, passing by. Now that I have kids, I need to get over this. But that's why I feel she has to keep on defending him. And I feel she needs to keep doing it for the sake of her kids. Because it would look so bad if your child is growing up and asking you, why the heck would you be in such a relationship if you knew all along this is how this person swings? It's like you're becoming the perfect wife when deep down in your heart you know that this man is like this. I do not blame her at all for defending the man because this is your husband. The moment he ceases to be your husband, then you can go on top of every rooftop and say whatever you want to say about him. But as of now, he's your husband. You need to defend him. I am of that school of thought.
I agree with you for the most part. I think with Ashu, it is this. So she's now seeing herself as more in a motherly figure. So I think she feels like this kind of lifestyle when you have two young children or going to be having two young children, it's inappropriate. So she's ready to cut that part off. He's like, well, what are you talking about? This is what we agreed to. And she's looking at it like, well, yes. Now the embarrassment, now she's a mother's kind of hitting her, and she's tired of defending him. So I think in her mind, she's like, look, you didn't have me looking crazy in these streets for the last 5 years, and I've defended you like to the hilt. Now it's time for you to calm down and behave like the family man. So I don't blame her at all. She's trying to secure her bag for her and her kids. I think she's handling it the right way because she's been pretty open and honest about everything. Not all the time, but she's letting the cat out the bag now, and I support her in that.
I'd agree more if it didn't include the whole aspect of him touching people who don't want to be touched.
Yes, I
yeah,
agree with you there. Yeah, I
Now,
that's
definitely
that
agree with you there.
different.
yeah, that part is a bit weird and is a bit cringy. But I feel also um when you've grown up doing things, I'm not saying he's grown up doing things, but I'm saying in their relationship, when you've grown up doing things in your relationship, it's very hard to unlearn the things you have been doing. So maybe just Michael needs to find a better way of doing his thing on the side without making it public and making her look like a fool. Because if it was me, trust you me, uh, it would be a different story.
I agree with you on that, Gatatua, because I've always lived by the thought of you don't dip your pen into the company ink. That's your wife's job. You make appearances there. Like if you're gonna go around and do that kind of stuff, there's plenty of clubs out there that you could go and do that, and people are okay with
Hmm.
it because they're expecting that kind of behavior.
Right.
But you don't go to your wife's colleagues, work colleagues, and assault them. You just don't. And yes, it's been fun for discussing this all of these years because he's the gift that just keeps on giving. But enough is enough. And I kind of like the two of them are at fault because when they got married, they agreed to their lifestyle, and that's their business. However, there's a big risk when you decide to sign up for a reality show and think that you could continue carrying on like this and people aren't going to find out, especially when he's being so lax in his behavior with others.
Right.
She's going to get tired of cleaning up after his mess. Yes, it is securing her another season after another season after another season, but as my mom says, day runs until night catches it. And at some point, we are just not going to tolerate it anymore. And at some
Right.
point, he's going to buck up on the wrong person, and those charges will go through.
Right.
Right. With him, it's more like he he's very selfish, and that's for me the crux, one of the cruxes of the issue. Like, sir, your wife has defended you all this time. She stood by you. All she's asking you to do is not do this anymore. And the reason why she's asking you to do this is because you have been so messy and so sloppy that she can no longer openly defend you. So you need to calm down and listen to your wife because you have two young children.
But he's not gonna, because he feels entitled that
Right.
he's privileged. He can do that, and who cares?
Like you
I
saw
think
how
on
mad
top
he
of it
got when what's that
the
Juan and when Juan and Robin got engaged, he was so angry. Like he actually felt like he wasn't
That was a trip.
hmm?
That was a trip. I'm
Yeah,
like,
he was
this
so
man is
angry.
he was hurt. Like,
I have a theory about that.
Like he felt like he owned Juan or something, and Juan was being taken from him. Like he seriously has an entitlement problem, and
I'm
it's
sorry
disturbing.
I
about
don't
that.
think
I'm
it's just
sorry.
about entitlement. I feel like he felt betrayed because the way
Yeah,
he looked was just beyond like I am entitled to you and you're my friend and we do things together. I feel they do more than we think they do together. And so he felt like, why didn't you tell me this is the move you want to make? Because maybe I would have stopped you from making this move because it's going to hinder us from doing all these shenanigans we are doing out here together.
Well, yeah, because
That's my
Michael's like
theory.
this. Michael's like this. Like, dude, like we didn't discuss this. Like, you didn't come and tell me like you was gonna propose to Robin. Like, why wasn't I included? Why didn't you let me know? Like, we had a they. You really would think they had a plan together.
it
You
was
would
so
really think.
absurd.
Like, he was so upset and like I'm surprised he didn't just fall out and just like ruin the proposal. I mean,
And
that's the thing, isn't it? It was okay
and
for
it
him.
sounded like it sounded like how you know like how when you say for example I'm dating Jamal and Debbie is my side, you know, like I need to tell my side I'm about to engage my main, so behave yourself. So when I come to engage my main, who is Jamal, Debbie is gonna be cool. But now if Debbie doesn't know, she can trip off and gonna be like, what the, why didn't you tell me? That's how I felt. That's how I saw the emotion on her face.
right. That's a very good way to put it. Juan did not tell the side piece that he was gonna marry the main chick. That's what it was. Perfect analogy.
Queen,
But
what
then
were
it's a
you gonna
case of
say?
like he's like all this thing over the last how long with him touching people in inappropriate ways. He's touching people in inappropriate ways. All of a sudden, this evidence pops up for a reunion from a different angle of
Sudden.
him doing the exact same thing that he was accused of a year ago at the last reunion. And then on top of it, you're being asked to leave a situation. Your wife is putting her hands on you to get you out of a situation, but you don't like other people touching you, but it's okay for you to touch other people. I have an issue with his selfishness on the other side of it when it comes to Ashley with the postnatal depression, because it's
Right.
like if your wife is going that far to bat for you and standing guard for you like that, the least you could have done was be a bit more supportive through a period of time like that. Yes, he's had children already, he's got grown children, but knowing this is her first child, he could have been a bit more supportive through the process.
Much more
Queen,
supportive.
I think you were asking too much of Michael because I don't think Michael wanted either of these two kids with Ashley. I don't think it was part of their deal. I don't think like I think he's of that a mindset of like, I've done that already. They're out of the
Yeah.
house. I don't want to do it again. We're
When
supposed to be getting down with the get down.
when there was I remember an episode where it was that's basically what it sounded like to me in code, the way they were talking around the table when they had the apartment previously.
Mm-hmm.
So the Ashley's kind of thing from what I remember is that if she's going to stay in the marriage, this is what she requires because of her age and where she's at in life.
Right.
So I think that's part of the reason why he extended the prenuptial agreement that they had at the time.
Does anyone believe that she doesn't have a prenup or a postnup?
Debbie, they no longer have the prenup. The reason why the prenup is no longer exists because she's already fulfilled the terms of the prenup. So now she's guaranteed 50-50.
Right. I think
She's
it was like 5 years or something of being
It's
married.
5 years.
yeah.
Yep,
I thought it was 3.
five.
Or
It
did
was
he?
five.
Oh,
They did
okay.
it for 5 on theirs.
I
I
don't
think she was
know.
trying to get a post-nip whereby she could get more than just 50-50 because now she's
Yep.
looking at having 2 babies and stuff, but it didn't pan out. I don't think the
I think that's
negotiations
why
panned
she
out.
had the second, because the postnup probably didn't go through, because she's increasing monthly support. If it's more if you have 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
think
it's
she's
something.
playing the long game. I don't think they're going to get divorced. I think
And
she's
it's
going to
a,
wait until that dude passes and take everything.
and,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing is, we have to remember that with another child comes another percentage of his estate if something happens to
Right.
him.
Yep. Yep.
I think it's dependent on, although she's in for the long game, it's about how long is going to continue to embarrass her, how
That
long
too.
his behavior. Because
Can
the
we
fact
go back?
is, if his business is and keeping this face up facade for the public
Mm-hmm.
to be able to keep his contracts going, then if he continues to show this behavior in public, then it might affect his long-term goals and business plans. Therefore, she might exit stage left.
That's
Mm.
That's a
Got the
very good
tour?
point.
I know I had just had a random thought and I was going back to Cynthia and I was like, first of all, I don't know, like maybe I'm weird, but I'm those people who would I have planned other people's weddings and they're just too much. I'm someone, if I was to get married today, like I would go down to the courthouse, I would go down to, just do a random thing. Like most probably, if it's a wedding, it's going to be in the afternoon or in the evening where I know everyone comes eat, like you've had your meals and stuff, you're just coming to maybe have a light snack or something, then
Mm-hmm.
get a drink, one or two, then please leave me alone and go to your places because I want to go on vacation for like 3-4 months with the money you're going to give me towards my wedding.
right.
I wouldn't go through that extent of trying to make it seem like it has to be this way or no other way. And I felt that was a bit childish, especially for someone who's not doing it the first time. If it was someone who's doing it the first time, I would have respected it because maybe that was what you're one of the people who has the idea of a dream wedding. For myself, if I was if it's possible, I can walk down the aisle in shorts. When we are done, we hop into the car and go to the next to the next venue or to the next place. I didn't see what all that fuss was about. And I'm
I
trying to
think
imagine if I was part of that planning uh, the team that's planning it, I would have checked out a very long time ago, unless I was getting money out of it. I'm sorry.
Cynthia is so immature to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the reason why she kind of. I haven't really seen this season. I haven't started this season yet. But in terms of, remember at the beginning of the end of last season, we wasn't sure if Cynthia was going to carry on. So this is her storyline for this
Right.
season. But because of everything that kind of happened with COVID, she's kind of taken up the forefront. At the same time, the amount of episodes she gets on guarantees her a check in it from every show because it's overall contract, but it's per episode, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or maybe she thought she was going to get a spin-off like the other ladies. You know how the other ladies, when they had their weddings, they got a spin-off from it?
Mm,
Remember? When Candice
yeah.
had her wedding and stuff, but then it didn't work out. But anyway, I don't know. Like, I can't. I'm too lazy. I'm sorry. I'm too lazy for all those things. Like I would literally like if it has to be a big wedding, I would be like, who's the one who wants the big wedding? If it's my parents, I'll be like, okay, you handle it. Just tell me what time I need to be at the venue and I will show up. That's it. I'm out.
Cool. Okay. Well, we're gonna start to wrap up because I know Jamal has to get back. Gatatua, any final thoughts?
Just a moment of I don't know whether I can a moment of silence for Fallon. I have just Googled her and that lady is immaculate. Like I would dip in her pond. I swear, I would. She's so beautiful. I would.
Okay, now.
I
Whatever floats
would.
your boat, Yeti.
Huh?
Well,
Whatever floats your boat, dear. Whatever floats your boat.
Christmas is
I
coming
was
up.
no, I'm just saying if I could swing that way, I would, because she's very pretty. I've just seen her, and then um, I don't know. For all these other ladies, they're just crazy. I don't even know. Like, okay, Jamal, when did you say we're starting to watch? Because I just keep watching snippets of things, and I'm already exhausted with Latoya.
Oh God.
What? I missed that. I'm so sorry.
I'm asking what
Oh,
episode did you say we're supposed to start watching
season
from?
season 5, episode 5. Sorry.
Yeah, episode 5.
Okay, I'll still keep holding on to that and then watch on that. I
But here's the thing, though. I will say this: Fallon has piqued my interest. So I'm seeing. I had no hope. I was giving no, like, watch this. It's gonna get better. Blah blah blah. I'm like, look, I'm just watching this to review it, just to see what's gonna happen. Now Fallon. Now I need more Fallon in my life. I need to see more of her. I want to see more of her. Some more of Drew. Um, and that's pretty much just about who I care about at this point. That's terrible, but it's true.
then my
Okay.
last point is I would really appreciate. I'm hoping what's his name, Andy would come out and apologize for his, let me not choose cuss words, for whatever he did, because that was a mess. That was a total mess, and it flopped really bad. And he owes a bunch of us apologies. And I'm hoping the next episode or the last bit of it is even more interesting because this one was less interesting than the first one. So okay. Anyway, I'm just hoping that Giselle is getting a bit more of fire on her end because that's what I was coming to watch the entire time, but I didn't get it. Or Robin, someone.
Can I say one thing before you got to it? Did anyone notice how Andy has not asked Robin any direct questions?
He's probably
That
distracted by her
Thank
wig.
you, Jamal.
exactly. That was the question I
I
was
mean,
about to ask. Like, how come he never asked an actual important question about anything?
Because
Because
Yeah.
if you look at Robin's wig too long, it's going to blind you. That's why.
Well, but
I would have made
he had
him sticky
nothing
notes.
going on.
I would have made him sticky notes if he had forgotten his points. I would have made him. I would remember when I said last week when I said they needed to do like a table mirror and stuff for Candice. I would have remembered to put some of the sticky notes for Andy just in case he forgot what he needed to ask Robin.
hmm.
And I'm
Okay.
out.
Thank
Bye,
you,
Dr.
Gatatua. We'll see
Tua.
you tomorrow.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Good night, Gratitude.
Bap. Thank you again for calling in. Any final thoughts on either of these shows?
Only final thought I have for Potomac is I look forward to the day when we aren't discussing that fight anymore. That's my
Yes.
only final
Agreed.
thought.
Agreed.
Yes.
All right,
Oh my
and good night, though.
God. Night. And please
Nice.
do call back in. Loved it. Okay, Queen, my friend.
Hey, I think just in general with the reunions, it's annoying to have 3 parts.
Mhm,
Do you get what I'm saying? That it's not necessary anymore.
mhm.
If the way that they edit things to be able to do things properly. So, like, I understand this is kind of like really a filler. I just really want to get to the end now. I'm kind of done. I just wish them all the best. And in obviously Giselle and Jamal, we'll see what continues to escalate and evolve from that situation.
Nothing.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy
Merry
New Year.
Christmas. Stay safe, Queen.
Bye. Good night, everybody.
Miss Ablavi.
Well, we got to start off. Candace, while I'm on nobody's side this season, and while I can find it traumatizing that you got you got a little 1-2 in front of the whole world, it's time. So if you're not going to get over the storyline, we are. So it's time to be done with it. Monique, I don't know. I have a feeling I'm going to drag your husband because he looked very Peter-ish. Next episode, he looked very Peter-like, and I couldn't stand Peter and how he was always acting like he needed a peach. And I feel like your husband's going to give me the same thing. So
Can we give him the benefit of the doubt for bad editing?
Not really, because this is the thing I don't get about this storyline and the binder. You had the binder, and yet, I mean, if you're going to have the binder and telling everybody's business, tell it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember her going through that whole binder, which looked like AP Cal text. It looked like my AP Cal notebook. I mean, it was big and thick, and I didn't see her go through that whole binder.
She only took out evidence on Giselle.
So far.
Yeah.
I just think that Monique, I don't know. I really want to like her, but I just don't. And I really want to like Candace, but I just don't. Michael, I'm wondering if he had that thing where he was hitting the guy's butt who was in the crew. I wonder, did they use that evidence when one of the crew members said that he was being sexually assaulted by Michael?
I don't think so, because it seems like it conveniently appeared after whatever case that was dismissed or whatever. Like,
well, it was dropped because Bravo paid him. I'm not interested in Ashley. I find Ashley and her husband to be boring. I love how they threw Katie in there. She was ridiculous. I'm not interested. The Grand Dame. I'm not. I just think that people need to be fired before the reunion. And I'll stress that again. You shouldn't give a whole boring season and then be rewarded with another season because you show out at the reunion. You should be, in fact, I'm so vicious with it. If you didn't bring drama in 3 episodes, you should be fired. And I would rather see 20 people in one season and get the right crew than to see 5 boring women. Now, with Atlanta.
Quick question. Do you, going on your train of thought, do you think what they should do is film the first half of the season, do a review of all the ladies? If you're not giving us what we need or what we think will bring in the ratings, you get chopped. Like a mid-season review.
Yeah, because or if you do bad, they should do like OC. When OC did 12 episodes because they didn't have it. I mean, this show, if it ended at the fight, I could have put up with all this, now.
Yeah, of course.
But if they're not going to do that, boo. Because Monique gives me nothing. Now to Atlanta. I can't stress it enough, Bravo. You came in with the win. Fallon is what I want to see. She is beautiful. She is married. Again, married. She has money. Like, I'm tired of seeing people engaged 10 years. That's called a roommate. I mean, it's ridiculous. Why is Cynthia getting married before Tanya?
Stop it. For a second time. I mean, did I say that out loud?
And then Portia and Dennis, if she don't let her bum, and you know what, quiet as it's kept, I'm ready for somebody to shade Portia, because she do need to be shaded on bringing a man every season, the Carly Red of Atlanta.
Stop. Not Carly Red.
How many men has she brought on this show?
Okay, let's go. Cordell. Oliver. Todd number 2. Dennis. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Did I miss anybody?
She's had a new guy every season she's been on this show. No, it's been a few others. No.
As I said, those are the main ones. I can only think about the main ones.
Well, either way, she need to find him. Like, you can't be reading Kenya when y'all have the same love. Like, I mean, Kenya's brought less men into this show. Granted, warning, Kenya Moore fans, warning. She had to pay for it, but I mean, even Cynthia. That's like, what do you mean he cheated on all his ex-wives and you marrying him? I can't with the foolishness. I need you to find wherever you got Fallon from, find them. I want to see Drew Sidora's husband's girlfriend. I want to see.
Wait, what?
Blobby,
Wait,
stop, Blobby, stop it.
run that by me again.
I need to see Drew Sidora's husband's girlfriend.
The one down in Tampa or
Tampa,
wherever beach he went. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Okay.
I need to see. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's. You said it was getting better. It's not. And when we having little workout sessions, when we sitting there doing squats and sweating, that's a problem. That's most of the episode. That's a problem. I think they need to get you a few more girls. Also, Bravo, it's time to, pick it up. It's time to get, because they said that Dallas is coming back. Y'all, I can't do Dallas. Atlanta's enough of a punishment. When is Jersey coming back? Jersey should be coming back soon, right?
Yeah, it should be coming. I'm assuming it's coming back soon.
I don't think I've heard a date on that. I heard a date on Dallas.
Okay. I personally don't. But this is the thing with Monique. I want to be fair to her because we got for the streets Teresa too, who's always shaking tables and acting a fool and throwing things, and they always fighting on Jersey. And I mean, they too need to get checked about that. And the problem with them in Jersey is they can't fight, and everybody's affiliated. Nothing to say. I just think I'm ready for good. I thank y'all for Fallon. She is great entertainment. And I'm gonna just leave it with that. And we are going to come back tomorrow and read Yara for filth.
Yes. And if we have time, I'm trying to finish off Expected. Yeah, I'm trying to finish it off now. I got interrupted.
I see what Pearl and them was talking about when they were talking about Americans, and we're not even gonna get into that. That whole thing was a read because I watched 90 Day next week's the first hour, and Cougar was on it. Watch Cougar.
I think I recorded that. I think it came on last night, right? Yeah, I have it recorded to watch as well to see what. I have no hope for Cougar and Ryan.
Well, me neither.
Ryan? Yeah.
Ryan.
This is a bigger topic another day. And and I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but when you go and get your plastic surgery done, is there no requirement for the person that's giving it to you? And I'm not trying to be shady.
Well, they should be board certified, shouldn't they?
Like for instance, Heather, we can discuss that with Heather on Salt Lake City. Like when the plastic surgery is looking odd, should you just be a back seat of your business, or should you be in the front?
Oh, you mean like for the spa owners, like the injectable spa owners?
Yeah.
I think you should be the best representation of your services, but when you start looking like Cat Lady, then I think you should disassociate yourself and just collect a check.
And I just wanted to say to Gina Max, happy birthday.
Oh, yes.
Yes, happy birthday, Gina.
I saw that. Oh my God. Wait, let's throw it up. Happy birthday! Happy birthday, Gina Maxey.
And I will be here, and I'm doing Atlanta for y'all. I don't do the whole episode. I go, I skip, I fast forward. I do it in about this week was 12 minutes. Last week was 8. So maybe we'll get to 15 next week.
So basically you only watched Fallon's portion of the episode. Okay, I can deal with that.
Exactly. I mean, I can't even get mad at that.
What do I look like? And then I have a feeling Candy and Todd is going to get on my nerves with that road trip. I don't know why. Road trips bother me. They make me feel like exhausted just watching them.
Todd is exhausting by himself, so I'm with you.
All right. Bye.
See you
Bye.
tomorrow. All right, my friend. Any
Hey,
final
sorry,
thoughts for you?
sorry, I was working. No, everything is good. Sorry, if I have the avatar up, I'm working. But I wanted to come back on to say bye.
Mhm.
Like I said, Atlanta's like right now. Good job with Fallon. Find some of her friends, bring them on too. Uh, Potomac, I'm just looking forward to this being over with because this this season was ruined for me due to the pushback and plus all the information that came out. So
Mhm. Mhm. All right. Well, I will see you tomorrow for TLC Tuesdays.
I'm very
And
excited about that actually, because I
you
will say
are?
this.
Uh-huh.
Here's the reason why. I saw the advertisements for Unexpected. I'm like, this is just gonna be some trash. Let's not
Mhm.
watching this. So I was in Master of Blackjack's Discord, and he was showing 90 Day Fiance earlier than what I would see. I'm like, cool, I could just watch it this way, have some time. And I just fell into, I'm like, this unexpected. I'm like, you know what? Y'all done sucked me in because this is too. I'm just looking at these kids like why aren't y'all like crying? Because if I were a teenager and got someone pregnant, I would be boohooing, blowing snot, rolling on the ground, crying. I would be
It's
scared. And they're like,
infuriating.
yes, and the
It,
parents are no better.
no,
And
it's
that was the sad
infuriating.
part.
Mhm.
So I'm watching it.
Yeah, I was hesitant. Like that's why I didn't even bring it up to you because I've watched that in seasons past, and I just didn't think you would be into it at all. But yeah, it's
Taryn and
maddening to
what's
watch.
it? Taryn and Hannah. That's her name, Hannah.
No, the one that
From
I
Kansas.
hate the most, Jenna and Aiden. That one,
Oh,
and then
ooh,
I just feel like they're two rocks being knocked together. Dumb and dumber.
but we have to cover them tomorrow. 'Cause I have a whole lot to say about
Yeah.
another one. Ethan and Mirka. I got a lot to say about that one.
I I have to go back and watch that because the one with her mother, she's the one that got thrown out.
Yes.
Yeah, I got distracted while I was trying to watch that, which I shouldn't have been doing. So I'm just gonna go back and rewatch the whole episode. Um, because I just wanna I'm not sure what happened with her mom, why she
Yeah.
was thrown out and all of
Oh,
that.
when you watch it, you'll be looking at them both like, what's wrong with both of you?
Yeah.
So we can talk about it tomorrow because we'll
Yes.
stay here in the whole
Yes.
stream. So I want to say great show as always. Hope to
Yay.
see everybody tomorrow. Have
Yes.
a great night.
Yes. Thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow for TLC Tuesdays. Bye.